Action.
Good. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So with the agenda,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes 3-0. Review the June 1st minutes.
So Monday, June 1st, 2026, McCone County Commissioner minutes. Kerry Phillips, South Road foreman, met with the board to discuss a potential backhoe purchase, the foundation for the Quonset buildings and road department issues. Dan Curtis, North Road shop foreman, met with the board by phone to discuss gravel pits and road department issues. Roger Shera, Circle Fire Chief, met with the board to discuss fire department issues. Paula Peterson, Deputy Treasurer, met with the board to present a tax adjustment. The board reviewed the tax adjustments.
Oops. Because it was just the one, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So you want to take the S off of them?
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Taylor moved to approve tax adjustment number 0233 for $15.43. Commissioner Jensen seconded the motion. Motion passed 3-0. At the hour of 10 a.m., the Board of Commissioners of McCone County, Montana, met in regular session with Ty Taylor, Lonnie Jensen, and Alan Stemple present. Presiding officer, Alan Stemple, called the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Commissioner Jensen moved to approve the agenda as amended to add a tax adjustment and an insurance form for the Circle Town County Airport. Commissioner Taylor seconded the motion and the motion passed 3-0. May 26, 2026 minutes were approved as amended. Commissioner Jensen reported on the McCone County Health Center Board meeting he attended in Circle on May 26, 2026. The board reviewed and approved the payroll for the month of May 2026. Voucher number 11 for warrants number 83678 through 83681 was issued in the amount of $4,568.08. Voucher number 1045 for automatic deposits in the amount of $110,699.11 for a total payroll of $115,267.19 was reviewed and approved. Board reviewed and approved timesheets for May 2026 for the employees and department heads under the supervision of the county commissioners. The officers' reports for May 2026 were reviewed and approved for the sheriff, treasurer, clerk and recorder, and justice court. Voucher number 1046 for warrants number 83682 and 83683 in the amount of $42,931 was reviewed and approved. Board tabled the decision to review and approve the subdivision regulations. The board reviewed the insurance agreement for the Circle Town County Airport. Commissioner Jensen moved to approve the insurance form. Commissioner Taylor seconded the motion and motion passed 3-0. The meeting was open to public participation at 1 p.m. Alan Pyrotech Pyro Egg Services met with the board to discuss potentially spraying noxious weeds for the county in June. Brian Shenham, Town of Circle Mayor, met with the board to discuss law enforcement contract, the new law enforcement vehicle, and town issues. Kerry Taylor, DES coordinator, met with the board to discuss a potential new county website, a new county logo, and a county slogan. Commissioner Taylor abstained from the discussion. Correspondence occupied the board for the rest of the day. The meeting adjourned at 5 p.m.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, committee report, anybody else have committee reports?
Not.
Not, no.
So I went to the McCone district meeting in Malta. The farther you go that way, the greener it gets. So these guys are gonna have some props and have some hanging, and I was surprised. It was good to see them.
They've been there and us for a long time.
Yeah. Let's see, so MDT brought their same, same two books that everybody had to take, and it's the same thing we've already got, and so that'll add to our collection of stuff that goes in the finish. There's a summit about investing in Montana. It's the same time as the meeting in Miles City, so didn't really apply. FEMA, they're pretty sure the FEMA support's going down, so the money we get for DES is gonna go down. I brought up several issues with the administrator. Because the last time they made a cut, everybody got the same percentage cut. So I try to explain that, that cut for us is more dramatic than Yellowstone County. But she said all the right things, but in other words, it's gonna be less money from the state for us. And if something bad happens in the future, it's gonna be less money from the feds as well. So it's mostly just a warning. And the solution is just to figure out other ways to pay for things. So it's transferring costs to the local as well as a state and federal level. There's an effort to try and have people vote for CI 134. And they've sent, I think it's in here. Yeah, it says what the cuts and stuff are gonna be. The big thing about, take this.
Shannon Geiger. Hello, you've reached the McCone County Commissioners. This is Lonnie.
Hi, this is Shannon with Mid-Rivers Communications. How you doing today?
Oh, good.
And Warren, what we're getting recorded.
So,
Good.
Shannon,
And Carrie talked to you gentlemen about the church,
Yeah.
about where you want to fiber to it over by Vida.
right, and I just want to let you know about the other commissioner. We're on speakerphone with Ty and Alan, and we're recording too, so I just, okay. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, please.
So suppose that you would like service product here, so that the send us a couple questions for me though. Because what we can do is a couple different options. We could go ahead and bore across the highway there, instead what we call a BD5, which is a small ped, and just have the duct run into it for if you want it for future. Because I'm not sure what you guys want to do around the church, if there's going to be anything we might be in conflict with, or we could actually bring it up to the church. Whatever option that you guys choose would be no cost to you for the construction.
So the big, at this point, it's not an active church, but it's still a good structure. And the thinking is that in the future, what we might do, if the church really wants to sell it, it could be sold and somebody could turn it into a home in the future. We don't know that it would be reopened as a church, but the idea would be to repurpose it into a home. So, we were just looking at that in the future, and we thought it'd just be easier as long as you're going by, just to bring something to the structure, but nothing inside it. So, what would be your recommendation?
I mean, it's kind of seeing where you gentlemen are looking at for the future in that. I would recommend just having it for the road, because if somebody gets on it, personally, what I feel is that if they decide to do sprinklers or they decide to do any other groundwork, or like say the septic needs replaced, or they want to do anything around the church that's grounds and that, we wouldn't be in conflict. We could come up with a plan when they're doing that stuff to get fiber to it. Because a lot of times when I do it for future, we're in the way and then we gotta move it again. So,
I think those are very, very valid points, and I'm sold on that option.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I like to construct once and make it easier for everybody. I like easy.
Yeah.
So-
So do we.
But we're more than willing to work with you and just to, what do you gentlemen, what would you like me to do, is what I'm asking.
We like that idea of just bore the road. And then if somebody buys it in the future, then they can contact you and finish it out from there. So it sounds like that's a good solution you got.
All right, well, we'll proceed with that then. I appreciate your gentlemen's time.
Right.
Super, thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Thanks, bye.
Should we talk rugs?
I don't.
So, I'm guessing that's coming next. Come on in, we're recording, fair warning, but we missed you last time, so.
Trying to help you by throwing away your invoice there. Just kind of wanted to check in, see if you guys heard anything back, kind of changes or anything like that.
Well, it sounds like, if we either get it every other week or we don't get it at all. So we want to keep the rugs at this point.
I know they were talking about trying to lower your prices.
Yeah. I don't think we've had
We haven't heard back, but we can start our budgets until next month, so. Didn't have to be a big rush, but that's what we're looking at.
Well, so I'm gonna be blunt with you. If you don't rush them, it might be next year before they look at it.
Okay,
My company sucks,
yeah, fair enough.
so I just. I'm done beating around the bush for them.
Yeah, that's
Looking
cool.
for another job as it is, so.
Okay, fair enough.
So honestly, between you, me and the fence post, I'll push them.
Okay,
Keep the ball rolling.
sure.
I believe I gave you Brent's card.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have his email and his phone number.
It's in this mess somewhere. So, yeah, we got it someplace. So. Couldn't tell you right away, but yeah. It's here.
Yep, I just wanted to verify, kind of check in with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with it every other week since that's the only option and, I don't think we want to pull any buildings out of it and so we'll just hopefully something can be at least reduced a little bit and if not, then maybe what we'll do is have our maintenance guy actually work with you and say, okay, do we actually need each and every one of these rugs? So, but I don't really see any places where we've been pulling them out. Kind of think we're good where we're sitting.
And I know the library ended up adding one not too long ago for the bathroom.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that was a couple months ago.
yeah, that's fine.
That. So
How many rugs go upstairs here, do you know?
there's two upstairs. There's one going along the courtroom, kind of like banister. And then there's one that kind of goes diagonal towards the water fountain. And then downstairs, there's 2 10s and a 5 right there at the door. And then we got the 2 there. And then one in front of this door, and then your long one here. And then you got your 5 over here that's, I mean, that one's never changed, but there's always stuff on it. So
Okay,
that one was
Curious.
discussed a long time ago, not to worry about it because there's so much stuff on it. So,
sure.
and then the library, there's a 5 as soon as you walk in the door. Then we got a runner directly after that. And then there's a 6 right in front of their counter in the back room, and then a sink mat that we just recently added for the bathroom.
All right, cool.
And then you guys are in charge of the sheriff's station.
Yep.
There's a 4x6 as soon as you walk in the door. Then we got a runner going this way. And then a runner going in front of the couch. A runner in the hallway after you get in the locked door. And then there's a 4x6 inside the offices. There's a 4x6 that kind of goes diagonal in front of these 2 offices over here. Then you go all the way back to the side door and there's a 4x6 there and then a 4x6 at the end of the hall.
Okay. Cool.
It kind of gives you a rough
Yeah.
inventory of where everything is too.
Yeah, that'll work.
Instead of looking at a paper, okay, where's this one at?
Yeah,
I've got one place they get, it's 5 different stops for one location. And each stop roughly gets about 5 rugs. And I was going through it with the guy and he's like, how do you even remember it? I was like, I do it every week, man.
yeah, yep.
He's like, I'm manager of this plant, keeping track of stuff, and I don't even know where all the rugs are.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, we'll bug them.
do you want to go and do signatures or have one of the ladies do it?
Oh, yeah, they'll do that in there.
Get that done.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir. What time does the library open? Noon?
Noon. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she should be there pretty quick. So district meeting. So the Mako is gonna be putting stuff about, they're not gonna pick a position, but we need to know about 134. Cause some places are gonna get cut if 134 goes through. And then they would cap increases at 2% a year, no matter what happens. So, you could never do a pay increase more than 2% unless you're pulling it out of someplace else. Like ever.
Hmm.
Cause there's no adjustment, just what it is. It looks like Lauren was voted out in Roosevelt or Richland County, which I thought was a surprise.
Not after that article, I don't think, but
Yeah. So Dawson, Garfield, and Prairie did not show up at the district meeting, nor Powder River, but Evo's going to host the next meeting. They've got somebody identified from Broadwater County to be the next VP for Mako. They're thinking that this legislative session is going to be interesting because they're not sure who's going to be able to work together. So it could be, hopefully they're productive, but it could just be a whole bunch of fighting. They were saying that the road and bridge funding is going to be shorter because the state doesn't collect enough tax dollars to get all the federal match they could get, and I don't think that's anything new. Multiple people want more 911 funding and they want Mako to lead the charge. They want to ask for $1 extra, and I didn't catch who they said it was, but they want Mako to front it and find legislatures to carry it so that the fee increase is $1 per phone. So the state would take 75 cents and the county would get 25 cents. So they're like, we don't really think if we're going to do something like that, we think we would say increase it $1 and the county get $1. But there's no sense in the county's fighting for the state to get,
or
3/4 and we're only getting 1/4 of it. There's people that are interested in changing any new levy to get voted in has to get 50% approval of every registered voter. So if there's 1,000 voters in our county and only 750 voted for them, vote total, then 250 have already said no. So you're going to have bigger and bigger percentages of those that do vote yes to approve the levy if somebody can get this through.
so they're taking if they don't vote, they're taking that as a no vote.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're saying if you got 1,000 registered voters, then you need 501 votes. So if you have, typically you get 70-80% of the vote out. So say you have 700 voters voting.
I think I read where Roosevelt County had a 22% voter turnout.
Right.
You know,
Yes,
more than Nora, but
you would never pass a levy again. You know, so then they're talking how, you know, all these levies that are out there that would get killed. So. Oh, they're saying people from the Yellowstone Club are pushing this. So Big Sky and the Yellowstone Club, which kind of gives the idea of what kind of people want it. Yeah, just poor them. They're not keeping enough their gazillion dollars, I guess. So we couldn't vote for our district chair and vice chair. Jerry Collins, I don't know, he usually goes to meetings, so I don't know why he wasn't there, and then Todd was the other one, didn't show up, so not like it was a big deal.
Some note, because it wasn't the forum or?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they talked about the meeting in June, the peer meeting. But they think it's gonna be pretty interesting,
Yeah, it sounded like it.
so. You know, they're kind of thinking it'd be worth it to attend. Yeah, they went through their budget, so. Yeah, so it was a whole bunch of budget stuff. So. And then you can see it. So, yep, nothing earth shattering. It was interesting to see who was there and who wasn't. I think they said 7 current commissioners got voted out in the primary. So it sounds like at all levels, there's definitely interest in getting turnover. And then, so Chilcott's leaving. Shoot, they mentioned somebody else has been there a long time. So there's gonna be a lot of the experience is gonna be leaving, so that'd be interesting, especially for some counties. So, yeah, that was it. Okay, so we've got May claims, those are done, you'll sign those after lunch. So the review and approve the subdivision regulations, we can table that one again. But we can start looking, you know, we can start reading through it, just that we're familiar with it, since we do have the public meeting. I just think it's good to leave that on the agenda, because I'm hoping other people are gonna read it. Because if you just show up on the day we're doing the public meeting, it's a lot. I mean, I forget how many pages, but that's a lot of information.
Yes.
The CDBG draw,
I see we had an email on that. I'll forget.
Yeah,
So,
there's, I
They,
had,
they,
the one from, Corey Matajoski.
well, I don't know if, there was one about they hadn't, the administrative funds, they hadn't put them on, we didn't have invoices on them.
Oh, I didn't see that.
okay, so we're still,
But I don't know, that was, I think, whatever day I came in, Thursday or whatever.
yeah, so we'll table it again, right?
This one it was it was today. And Tori there, answering Christine, I guess Christine is not working with them anymore, and Flossie was trying to get a hold of her on, and she was like, I was I'm under the understanding that I was done with it and you guys were gonna cover it. And Tori answered back saying, yes, that was a misunderstanding. We have our cover and that's all.
Okay. That'll work. So we table that one. Here's the public health task order. One of the things that came up at the MACO meeting was one of the public health things that came out. And it's really long, and I'm sure I signed it online, but one of the lines somewhere hidden in there is about how much insurance we have to cover. And it's hard to find companies that will even insure you up to that amount. So some counties have not signed theirs, some counties signed theirs and line through it. So we're gonna have to look at public health stuff more closely and probably start sending it to John and say, okay, before we sign this, what do you think? Because the Ridgeland County lawyer, I think, is the one that first found it. So what public health is supposed to do is go through everybody's contract and send it back and take out the unrealistic insurance one. So
So we need John to review this.
Well, I
before-
almost wonder if we shouldn't table it and send it to John and say we need it by next Monday.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, just,
yeah,
it kind of seems, it does, Mako does not think they did it to play gotcha. But since they did get us, then, and I'm sure, this is supposed to be signed today. But, we've tabled other things. So if it's gotta wait, it's gotta wait. So if you guys think we should, then let's do it.
I think that'd be the safest.
Yeah. Cause then we can just send it to John. Okay. Yeah. So I put on here about the data centers. What I would like to do, and I have what I think the wording's gonna be. But the county, when Buffalo may or may not have been coming, they actually did two different resolutions. Well, I know they did one for sure about, if Buffalo were to, somebody's trying to bring them into the county, then the commissioners are directly involved in it. So what I would like to do is do a resolution that, not that it's preventing data centers. However, if data centers are being considered from Cone County, and it's gonna be a whole bunch of whereases, but one is, if water is required for the facility, then they need to test the wells. They need to test the flow rate for the wells within a 2-mile circumference, 3 miles, probably 3 miles, and then test those wells annually to make sure that the flow rate does not decrease. So they're not pulling ag water from anybody around there. The ambient noise, it can be cited within 5 mile of a inhabited structure.
That's what I've been reading about them. Yeah, they're not something you want in your backyard.
Yeah, because they're like, well, they're quiet. They're quiet, but if somebody has a lawnmower running in your yard, that's not the volume. Oh, maybe it was a jet engine, but I've seen between 2 and 5 miles of this is how far that sound goes, and especially around here, because it is flat. Because we're over 2 miles from the highway, and you can hear semis driving by. So, and if that was all the time. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of whereases. I emailed John to see if we can do it, but I don't think the commissioners ever asked the attorney about the Buffalo. So worst comes to worst, somebody comes in and says, well, you can't do this. But at least the point is out there that, if you're gonna do it, and then a road is an issue. Before they break any ground, they have to have a road use agreement. So
Then
just things like that, just to set the table.
in our new subdivision regulations that the planning committee is working on, do you think that's something that might be addressed, the data?
Oh, it definitely should be in there.
Yeah,
I just want something. I just want something now. So. Cause if nothing else, and if somebody's going out looking, and they call it, when we had the windmill people coming in, well, what does the county think? All right, just so you know, we've got a resolution that if this is gonna be something that's gonna happen here, then there's several stipulations that need to be addressed. The road use agreement, the standoffs, then we can make it more official in the zoning, but at least this way it's out there. Cause I hear that they're out, there's one near Billings, Butte, and someplace else. So that somebody's actively looking.
and I'm sure it's like it was with the wind towers. We were kind of the last ones to know. I mean, they
Yeah.
released for several years and we didn't have a clue,
Yeah.
no, until they just walked through the door one day.
And so what I would kind of I would like to do a draft one and you guys can look at and go, okay, like this, don't like that, because it's ultimately, if somebody's decides to bring in buffalo, I don't know that resolution would stop them. But at least we're gonna raise our hand and say, if you're gonna do this, we want to talk about you, yeah. Talk in the early stages, not the late stages.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, you know, whether, yeah, I can't imagine if somebody would set something up, you know, 5 miles from my house and I heard, I mean, I got tinnitus. The last thing I want is one more just, because they say it's like a hum, a constant hum. Well, we get the wind and everything else, and just to have that, you'd have it up and down. I mean, I could see how it would drive people crazy.
So you've got enough voices in your head already.
Yeah, that's also true. So, but I'm also, you know, what does it do to pregnant animals? You know, because if you can hear the sound, then animals could probably feel the vibrations. And if you want your, you know, your pregnant animals to hopefully be, you know, calm and everything else, and if they're always getting, you know, some kind of sensation, I can't believe that'd be good for them. And yeah, I mean, the money would be great, absolutely. But at what cost?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
so I'll work on that. The policy manual, it's just an ongoing thing, so
Yeah.
this afternoon we can look and see if we can.
Every time we think we have time, we don't have time.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Oh, there is the thing in here about this, for the CDBG funds. Is this just? Oh, this must just be the. Oh, no, I guess there's a place for a signature. So we kind of looks like they are doing something with it. Cause it looks like it's all the, it looks like it's kind of the
Oh, yeah.
same.
yeah, I have a question about this 70. Oh, maybe that's not the final. This is McKinstry. It says like 74,000, but I think wasn't that like 39,000?
Yeah, I thought 39 was the retainage. So what, does the front sheet show McKinstry on there? Or is it not broken out, that very first page? Is it not broken out by who's getting how much?
The front sheet doesn't show it. But it shows the 56,000. And I think that's what it was. So these are just copies of
Okay.
McKinstry invoices that have been paid. You need a motion to approve this.
Yep.
I would move that we move forward with the CBD grant funds.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
And the motion passes 3-0. All right, super. So then that's it for today's meeting for what's on the agenda.